Have you ever woken up with a strange sensation, a numb arm, a foggy head, or a tightness in your chest, and brushed it off as just another sign of aging? What if those subtle feelings are your body's urgent cry for help, signaling a serious, even life-threatening condition? In this video, we're diving into 5 critical morning symptoms that you should never ignore, especially after 60. From silent stroke warnings to subtle heart attack signs, these red flags could be the difference between recovery and something far worse. You need to watch until the end to learn exactly what to do if one of these symptoms strikes tomorrow morning, empowering you to act fast and potentially save your life or someone else's. Before we begin, I would appreciate it if you like this video. You can help me continue to spread the old age lesson. If you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. If you like this video, please comment number 1. If you don't like it, comment number 0 to let me know, so I can make a better video for you. Now let's get started. The power of awareness. Henry's story. Let me introduce you to Henry, a 76-year-old retired high school teacher from Ann Arbor, Michigan. Henry was known for his sharp wit and endless stories from his decades in the classroom. One crisp autumn morning, he woke up feeling unusually off. His left arm felt like it was weighed down by an invisible force, heavy and unresponsive. He tried to shake it off, chuckling to himself that he must have slept on it wrong. But when he sat up to greet his wife, Ellen, she noticed something alarming. His smile, usually warm and symmetrical, was lopsided, pulling slightly to the right. His words came out slurred, as if his tongue was tripping over itself. Ellen's heart raced. She'd read about stroke symptoms years ago in a community health pamphlet. Without hesitation, she dialed 911. At the hospital, doctors confirmed Henry had suffered a mild ischemic stroke during the night, caused by a clot blocking blood flow to part of his brain. Because Ellen acted so quickly, Henry received a clot-dissolving medication called TPA within the critical 3-hour window, drastically reducing the risk of permanent damage. After weeks of physical therapy, Henry was back to his old self, regaling his grandchildren with tales of his teaching days. His story underscores a vital truth. Awareness and swift action are the difference between recovery and lifelong disability. Strokes don't always announce themselves with dramatic collapses. They can whisper their arrival in subtle ways, especially in the quiet of the morning. Sign 1. Sudden weakness or numbness on one side of the body. One of the most common and telling signs of a stroke is sudden weakness or numbness on one side of your body. Your face, arm, or leg. You might wake up, stretch, and notice that one arm feels unusually heavy, as if it's no longer entirely yours. Or perhaps you try to stand, and one leg buckles slightly, refusing to bear your weight. This isn't the same as the stiffness you might feel after a restless night. It's distinct, often accompanied by a tingling or pins and needles sensation, and it's typically confined to one side of the body. This symptom occurs because a stroke disrupts blood flow to the brain, starving specific regions of oxygen and nutrients. The brain is a highly organized organ, with the left hemisphere controlling the right side of the body and the right hemisphere controlling the left. When a clot or bleed affects one side of the brain, the corresponding side of the body can lose function. This is why stroke symptoms are often unilateral, affecting only one side. For example, if you try to raise both arms and one lags or feels weak, that's a red flag. What to do? If you wake up and notice weakness, numbness, or tingling in your face, arm, or leg, especially on one side, don't dismiss it as a quirk of sleep or aging. Time is critical. The acronym FAST, face, arms, speech, time, is a helpful tool. Check if your face droops by smiling in a mirror, test if one arm drifts downward when raised, and listen for slurred speech. If any of these are present, call emergency services immediately. Even if the symptoms seem mild or start to fade, don't wait. Mild strokes, known as transient ischemic attacks, TIAs, can be precursors to larger, more devastating strokes. Acting fast can mean the difference between walking away unscathed and facing permanent disability. Sign 2. Difficulty speaking or slurred speech. Picture this. You roll out of bed, shuffle to the kitchen, and try to say good morning to your spouse or even your pet. But the words come out wrong, slurred, jumbled, or not at all. Maybe your tongue feels heavy, like it's refusing to cooperate, or you know exactly what you want to say but can't find the right words. This isn't just morning grogginess or a dry mouth. Sudden difficulty speaking or understanding speech, known as aphasia, is one of the most alarming signs of a stroke. The brain's language centers, primarily located in the left hemisphere for most people, control your ability to speak, comprehend, and form coherent sentences. A stroke in these areas, often caused by a clot or hemorrhage, can disrupt these functions overnight, leaving you struggling to communicate when you wake. This might manifest as slurred speech, dysarthria, where your words sound garbled or drunken, or as expressive aphasia, where you can't find the right words or form sentences. In some cases, you might speak fluently but produce nonsensical phrases without realizing it, a phenomenon called receptive aphasia. Marilyn's story. Consider Marilyn, an 82-year-old grandmother from Tucson, Arizona, who started every day with a cheerful phone call to her daughter, Lisa. One morning, Lisa answered to find her mother's voice slow and garbled, as if she were struggling to push the words out. Marilyn insisted she felt fine, attributing it to a restless night, but Lisa wasn't convinced. She drove to her mother's house, took one look at her confused expression, and rushed her to the hospital. Doctors diagnosed a small stroke affecting Marilyn's language centers. Thanks to Lisa's quick thinking, Marilyn received treatment in time, and with speech therapy, her warm, articulate voice returned within months. Had Lisa ignored those garbled words, Marilyn's story might have ended differently. What to do? If you or someone you love wakes up with slurred speech, difficulty forming sentences, or trouble understanding simple phrases, don't wait it out. These symptoms can be fleeting, but even temporary speech issues can signal a TIA or mini-stroke, which requires urgent evaluation. Call 911 immediately and describe the symptoms clearly. If you're alone and struggling to speak, try to signal for help, bang on a wall, use a medical alert device, or text a loved one if possible. Every minute without oxygen increases the risk of permanent brain damage. If you are still watching this video and finding these lessons useful, please comment number 1 below to let me know that you are still with me. Thank you for your valuable time. Sign 3. Sudden vision problems. Your eyes are more than just windows to the world. They're a direct extension of your brain. When you wake up and notice a sudden change in your vision, it's not something to rub away or ignore. Perhaps one eye sees only a gray blur, or you notice a dark curtain falling over part of your visual field. Maybe you're seeing double, or objects appear distorted, as if you're looking through a cracked lens. These aren't just signs of tired eyes or needing new glasses. They could be a stroke's silent alarm. The brain's occipital lobe and other visual processing areas rely on a steady supply of oxygen-rich blood. A stroke in these regions, or one affecting the optic nerve or blood vessels in the eye, can cause sudden vision changes. These might include blurred vision, double vision, diplopia, partial blindness in one or both eyes, or loss of vision on one side of your visual field, hemianopia. Because these symptoms often occur without pain, they're easy to dismiss, especially if they improve slightly after a few minutes. But this improvement can be deceptive. A TIA may resolve temporarily but signal a larger stroke on the horizon. Carl's story. Take Carl, a 76-year-old retiree from Grand Rapids, Michigan. One morning, he woke to find the right side of his vision obscured by a gray haze, as if someone had smudged a window. He cleaned his glasses repeatedly, assuming it was a smudge or a trick of the light, but the blur persisted. His wife, sensing something was wrong, insisted they visit urgent care. There, doctors discovered Carl had suffered a minor stroke affecting his visual cortex. Prompt treatment preserved most of his vision, and with therapy, he regained his ability to read his morning newspaper. Carl's story is a reminder that vision changes aren't always about your eyes, they're often about your brain. What to do? If you wake up with sudden vision problems, blurriness, double vision, partial blindness, or dark patches, act immediately. Don't wait to see if it clears up, and don't assume it's just aging or fatigue. Test your vision. Cover one eye at a time and note any differences. If one side of your visual field is affected or one eye is significantly worse, call emergency services. Stroke-related vision loss can sometimes be reversed if treated quickly, but delays can lead to permanent impairment. Trust your instincts. If something looks wrong, it probably is. Sign 4. Sudden confusion or trouble understanding. Imagine waking up, sitting on the edge of your bed, and feeling like your thoughts are tangled in a fog. You try to plan your day, but your mind feels sluggish, unable to connect the dots. Or perhaps someone asks you a simple question, like what you want for breakfast, and you can't process it or respond coherently. Sudden confusion or difficulty understanding, especially when paired with other symptoms like weakness or slurred speech, is a critical stroke warning. Confusion during a stroke often stems from disrupted blood flow to the brain's frontal or temporal lobes, which govern reasoning, memory, and comprehension. This can feel like a sudden mental block, where familiar tasks or conversations become overwhelming. For older adults, it's tempting to attribute this to a senior moment or lack of sleep, but stroke-related confusion is distinct. It comes on abruptly and often feels disorienting or frightening. Diane's story. Diane, a 73-year-old from Reno, Nevada, was known for her quick wit and daily crossword puzzles. One morning, she called her daughter as usual, but her daughter noticed Diane's responses were incoherent, almost as if she were speaking in riddles. When pressed, Diane seemed unaware of her confusion, insisting everything was fine. Alarmed, her daughter called 911. At the hospital, doctors confirmed a stroke in Diane's left temporal lobe. Thanks to rapid intervention, Diane recovered fully, returning to her crosswords with her trademark flair. Her daughter's vigilance saved her from a potentially devastating outcome. What to do? If you or a loved one wakes up feeling unusually confused, unable to follow a conversation, or struggling to make sense of simple tasks, don't brush it off. Ask a simple question like, "What day is it?" or "What's for breakfast?" If the answers are muddled or the person seems disoriented, call 911 immediately. Confusion can be a subtle but serious stroke symptom, especially when it appears suddenly or alongside other signs. Sign 5. Sudden loss of balance or coordination. Imagine this. You wake up, swing your legs over the side of the bed, and as you stand, the world tilts. The floor feels unsteady, as if it shifted beneath you. You wobble, stumble, or instinctively grab the nightstand to keep from falling. Your legs might feel like they're made of rubber, refusing to move in sync with your intentions. Maybe your steps veer to one side, or you feel like you're walking on a swaying ship. It's tempting to brush this off. Maybe you slept awkwardly, didn't get enough rest, or are just feeling your age. But let's be clear. Sudden, unexplained loss of balance or coordination is not something to dismiss. It could be a red flag for a stroke, a brain bleed, or a transient ischemic attack, TIA, often called a mini-stroke. Why this matters? Balance and coordination are intricate processes that rely on a seamless collaboration between your brain, inner ear, eyes, and muscles. Your cerebellum, the brain's movement control center, orchestrates this symphony, while your vestibular system in the inner ear helps maintain spatial orientation. A stroke or TIA can disrupt this delicate system by cutting off blood flow to key areas of the brain, even for just a moment. The result? You might feel like you've forgotten how to walk in a straight line or stand upright without wobbling. This isn't just a physical issue. It can shake your confidence to its core, making you question your ability to move safely in your own home. What makes this sign so dangerous is how easily it's ignored. Many people, especially seniors, attribute sudden unsteadiness to fatigue, dehydration, or even a minor injury like sleeping on a limb wrong. But neurologically, this symptom is a loud alarm. A small clot, a brief interruption in blood flow, or pressure from a brain bleed can impair the brain's ability to coordinate movement, leading to disorientation, dizziness, or a spinning sensation, vertigo. Unlike muscle weakness, which might affect a single arm or leg, loss of balance impacts your entire body, making it harder to pinpoint the cause without medical evaluation. The emotional and long-term impact. Beyond the physical risk, sudden balance issues can take an emotional toll. Picture yourself hesitating to walk across your living room without clutching furniture or avoiding stairs for fear of falling. This loss of confidence can spiral into anxiety, social withdrawal, or even depression. Over time, reduced mobility increases the risk of muscle atrophy, further falls, and a decline in overall health. Studies show that seniors who experience a fall or fear falling are more likely to limit their activities, which can lead to a cycle of physical and mental decline. The stakes are high, and ignoring this symptom could mean missing a critical window to prevent a larger, more devastating event. A real-life example. Let me share the story of Margaret, a 78-year-old retiree from Colorado. One crisp autumn morning, she got out of bed and immediately felt unsteady, as if the floor had turned to jelly. She laughed it off, thinking she'd just stood up too quickly. But as she tried to walk to the bathroom, she veered into the wall, barely catching herself. Her husband, alarmed, insisted they go to the emergency room. Tests revealed Margaret had experienced a TIA, a warning shot from her body. Thanks to her quick action, doctors prescribed medication to reduce her risk of a full stroke and recommended lifestyle changes that helped her regain her confidence. Today, Margaret walks her dog daily and feels empowered to listen to her body's signals. Her story is a reminder. Acting fast can change the trajectory of your health. What to do? If you wake up and notice sudden difficulty with balance or coordination, whether it's stumbling, feeling off-center, or experiencing dizziness, don't wait. Call your doctor or head to the emergency room. Time is critical with stroke-related symptoms. The American Stroke Association emphasizes the acronym FAST: face drooping, arm weakness, speech difficulty, time to call 911. But balance issues are an equally urgent signal. Don't gamble with your health by hoping it'll pass. Catching these whispers early could mean the difference between a full recovery and permanent disability. If you are still watching this video and finding these lessons useful, please comment number 2 below to let me know that you are still with me. Thank you for your valuable time. Sign 6. Chest tightness or pressure upon waking. Now, let's talk about another warning sign that can strike the moment you open your eyes. Chest tightness or pressure. You wake up, take a deep breath, and feel it, a heavy, squeezing sensation in the center of your chest. It's not always a sharp, dramatic pain like you see in movies. It might feel like a weight pressing down, a tight band wrapping around your torso, or a vague discomfort that's hard to describe. You might sit up, hoping it'll fade, or chalk it up to indigestion, stress, or sleeping in an awkward position. But here's the truth. If your chest feels off when you wake up, especially if it's sudden and unfamiliar, you need to treat it as a potential medical emergency. This is one of the hallmark warning signs of a heart attack, particularly in older adults. Why morning is a high-risk time? Your body's physiology makes mornings particularly vulnerable. When you wake, your cortisol and adrenaline levels surge, preparing you for the day. This morning stress response increases your heart rate and blood pressure, and your blood becomes slightly thicker, making it more prone to clotting. If you have underlying heart disease or narrowed arteries, atherosclerosis, this natural spike can trigger a crisis. Research shows that heart attacks are most likely to occur between 6 a.m. and noon, with a peak around the time you're brewing your morning coffee. This is why paying attention to chest discomfort first thing in the morning is so critical. The subtle danger. What makes chest tightness so deceptive is its variability. For some, it's a mild pressure or burning sensation that radiates to the back, neck, jaw, or left arm. Others might feel unusually fatigued, short of breath, nauseous, or even sweaty. Symptoms that are often mistaken for something less serious, like acid reflux or anxiety. Women, in particular, may experience atypical symptoms, such as upper abdominal discomfort or a sense of heaviness, rather than classic chest pain. The danger lies in dismissing these signs. A heart attack doesn't always announce itself with crushing pain. Sometimes, it's a whisper that grows louder if ignored. The psychological barrier. There's also a psychological hurdle to overcome. Many people, especially older adults, hesitate to seek help because they don't want to make a fuss, or fear being seen as overreacting. This is particularly true for men, who may feel pressure to tough it out. But denial can be deadly. The longer you wait, the more damage your heart muscle may sustain. Early intervention, whether through medication, angioplasty, or other treatments, can minimize damage, reduce complications, and significantly improve your chances of recovery. According to the American Heart Association, seeking help within the first hour of symptoms can be the difference between a full recovery and long-term heart damage. A life-saving story. Consider the story of James, a 70-year-old grandfather from Michigan. One morning, he woke up feeling like an elephant was sitting on his chest. He initially blamed it on a late-night snack of spicy wings, but when the pressure persisted and his left arm began to tingle, he remembered a community health talk about heart attack symptoms. Reluctantly, he called 911. At the hospital, doctors confirmed he was having a heart attack caused by a blocked coronary artery. Thanks to his quick action, they performed a stent procedure that restored blood flow with minimal damage. Today, James enjoys playing catch with his grandkids, a joy he might have lost had he waited. What to do? If you wake up with chest tightness, pressure, or discomfort that lasts more than a few minutes, don't second-guess yourself. Call 911 immediately. Don't drive yourself to the hospital. Emergency responders can start treatment en route, which can be life-saving. While waiting, chew and swallow an aspirin, if you're not allergic, to help thin your blood, but only if advised by a medical professional. Your heart has carried you through countless moments. First loves, family milestones, quiet joys. It deserves your vigilance now. If this information is resonating with you, please leave the number 6 in the comments to let me know you're still here. Subscribing and turning on notifications ensures you won't miss future insights that could protect your health. Your engagement helps us keep delivering content that informs, inspires, and empowers. Thank you for joining us in this eye-opening journey through the critical morning symptoms you should never ignore. Your health is your greatest asset, and being aware of these silent warning signs can truly make all the difference. Now, we'd love to hear from you. What's one key thing you've learned today that you'll carry forward to protect your health or help someone else? Please share it in the comments below, as your thoughts inspire us and others in this community. If you found this video helpful, please leave your comment below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content to inform and empower you. Stay vigilant, stay healthy, and we'll see you in the next video.